Okay, so this is going to be an instructional slash overview video of the Adria Matrix 670 Supreme. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the vehicle and then we'll go into the habitation and cab area. As you can see, this vehicle does come with an awning. We will send a separate link on the email how to set up and use the awning. First things first, I'm going to show you how to open the bonnet. And the reason for this is just in case, one, obviously you need access to the bonnet area, but then two, if you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So if you come around to the passenger door and open the passenger door, you'll see here at the side of the dash is the bonnet release catch. All you need to do is pull that down once and that will then release. Also, while I have got the passenger door open, at the side here we do have your diesel and AdBlue fill. You just need to use your vehicle blade key for the diesel. And then the last important thing down here, because it's taken me 20 minutes to find this, is going to be your electric drain valve. So there's a rocker switch here, so this is what you need to use the switch for. This switch is to open your grey waste drain valve at the rear of the vehicle, or then obviously if you want to close this valve, you just need to use the switch again on a rocker switch to close and open the grey waste. So as you can see, I have now got the bonnet open, and like I said, the main reason is you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So if you do need to jump start the vehicle, your negative terminal point is here, and then your positive is just here under this black cover which I've got up at the moment. So this is your positive terminal point, and then obviously under here you've got your engine fill, engine oil, obviously your screen washers in front of the driver. So now we will carry on around the external of the vehicle, currently on the passenger side. So the first compartment we come to is going to be your fresh water fill. So all you need to do is use your habitation key. This will open this cap, put your hose pipe in, and when the water starts to come out of this hole, that means your fresh water tank is completely full. Obviously before you do that, you do need to make sure you've got the drain valve shut, which is internal, which we'll get to. Here is another fill valve. So this is a separate thing altogether. You need to buy a little connection for this to fill up from like a water bud, but most people just use the larger fill with the hose pipe. Here we've got your boiler flue on the Aldi heating system. So this is where obviously your gas fumes exhaust from, so just keep this clear at all times. Next we have your LPG gas locker here. So you can fit 2 LPG tanks in here, 2 6-kilogram tanks, and then they will connect onto this gas regulator up here on a 1/2-inch thread here. So you just need to get an LPG pigtail which connect straight onto the gas regulator as well as the gas tanks. Down here under the passenger rear axle, so this is where your grey waste will drain from. So obviously, like I said, you need to use that switch on the passenger side, open the door, and that's an electric valve which opens this grey waste, and then obviously your grey waste will exit here. Here we've got your garage. So on this side, on the passenger side, we have got obviously a light switch up here, which if the 12-volt system's on in the habitation, this will turn on. We've got rail here, which you can put some eye hooks in and slide them along, as you can see, these ones, and then obviously you've got tie down points on both sides. This is actually the pump I was speaking about, which the previous customer has left in. So this is if you want to fill up, like I said, from a water bud. It's got its own built-in pump there. And then obviously we've got your habitation carpets in here as well. You have got some extra security locks here, which you've got a big bunch of keys which are on the garage and I think on the habitation. Got bike rack here. Just be cautious with the bike rack, as in your camera's just up here, then obviously if the bikes are on it may reduce your vision. And we have got on this vehicle reverse sensors, as you can see there, so you'll hear the beep when you are in reverse. On the driver's side of the habitation, so in the garage area, so again we've got another light here. Here we have got a toolkit, so that will have a jack in there. We've got, like I say, your habitation carpets, and then we have got your external shower point. So your external shower point just comes onto here, so it's just a quick release connection on this brass point, and you have obviously got hot and cold as well. And on the shower you have got a trigger. You just need to turn on your water pump on the habitation control panel internally, and then here we've got 3-pin 240 volt mains socket, so good thing to charge stuff in the garage like e-bikes and that. You've got a 12 volt socket, and then here this is a bed rear bed height adjuster, so you can move the bed up or down. So if you move it up, obviously it gives you more garage space, and then obviously if you want to have the island bed lower, you just bring it all the way down, and it's obviously easier to get on internally. Same again, extra locks there. Next we have your toilet cassette. So this is where obviously if you need to empty or clean this cassette, you just need to lift this orange tab up. If you lift this up and pull the cassette towards you, that will then release. To empty or clean the cassette, all you need to do is this orange nozzle on the left, twist this outwards, take the grey cap off, and basically what you need to do is tilt up the cassette to empty. If you put your thumb on this button at the top, that lets air into the top of the cassette, so all the fluids flow out without splattering and a lot faster. Other than that, you can open the cassette blade here and clean internally with a hose pipe. Once you have cleaned and emptied your cassette, push it back into place, and the main thing here, you want to have this orange handle down, secure, so it's not going to obviously move in transit. And then here we have your mains hookup. So this is where you connect when you're at campsite on mains hookup. And then also here you do have external power, so you've got a 12 volt socket there, you've got some 2 USB sockets as well. So when you are connecting to mains hookup, you just need to run the cable through these little holes here, so then obviously you can shut this door and lock it as well. Obviously we have got an electric step, and then in your habitation you've got your control here for the electric step. Just press and hold that in, and that will either obviously go back in or out. And now we are in the habitation area. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the habitation control panel. So here is the control panel. So the top right, you've got your on and off button. The button next one down on the right hand side, press it, that will give you your leisure battery levels. If you use this knob, you can go through a couple of the settings, gives you volts and obviously a percentage of what the battery is at. Here showing minus amps, so that's because we're drawing. I've got lights on at the minute, and then obviously if it goes like now, it's in effect, it's pulling. So this, when it goes to minus, it's drawing from the leisure battery, and then obviously if the sun is obviously giving you power, it will go to plus. Here, next one, the water symbol, we've got your fresh water on the left and then your grey waste on the right. So that's giving you a rough gauge as well. Bottom right is just an arrow back. Your top left is your habitation lights. So you need to click this and then use this dial to turn the lights on or off. Obviously, if you do switch on the lights, you can switch them on by the master switch on here as well. Next one will give you your internal external temperatures. You got some settings here, so you can go through, change the brightness of the panel, and then the bottom left we have got your water pump. So you can press this and as you can see it says on, and then press it again to turn it off. On your water pump, you only want to switch it on when you have got water in the system. You don't want to keep this pump running dry, as you could potentially burn that motor on the water pump. Here we have your Alder heating and hot water system. So on your Alder heating system, just turn it on here and as you can see it will come on. You got a few settings here, just press the menu, and then the top one is your internal temperature, so it's whatever I want to achieve on the heating side. The next one is going to be your hot water, so you'll have off, medium and high. The next one down, which has got the electric symbol, so as you can see we can have electric only if we're on campsite, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts. Here we've got the gas symbol, so anything in green is on. So now I'm trying to pull gas, so you can do mixed, or if you're off grid just turn gas on its own, or if you're at campsite you can just use the electric as well on its own. And then you have got an ACC button, which I think is connected to the AC, but this will only work when I think mains hookup is on. You got some settings here, brightness of the control panel, and that's quite it really. On the Alder heating system you've got vents all the way around the motorhome internally, so obviously it's a wet system. So basically if you are somewhere cold and you want to get it warm quite fast, just turn it all the way up on the temperature side and then turn it on to gas, because on gas it will burn hotter and obviously get that heating temperature higher quite fast. Same on your hot water. If you turn it onto gas to boil your hot water, it will heat faster. And then to turn this off, just press and hold and it will completely shut down, like so. Underneath the habitation control panel, you'll see your switch here for the drop down bed at the front, the electric switch. You've got a heat exchange pump here, and then this is a button to reactivate the lower bed. So you just need to press this in, I think, when the fuse goes, and as you can see, press and hold, keep holding, the bed will come down, and then obviously the other way round, when I put it up, press and hold and it will go up. And then under this seat here, at the side of the habitation door, so we've got your leisure battery. Here we've got your fuses, so this is on your 12 volt system, so we've got 12 volt fuses. So this is where you need to come if something obviously blows on the 12 volt side, on like USBs, your light switches, and then at the back here we do have your 240 volt main, so this is when you are connected to campsite. You'll need to check here, so basically if you plug in at campsite and you've no power in the motorhome, just check this breaker here. Most of the time it is the campsite that is tripped, because they reduce the power they give you, but this is where obviously all your fuses, or your 240 volt trip fuse box as well, is all here under this seat. In front of the traveller's seat here we have a frost protect valve. So this black valve is to drain the water from your boiler. So your boiler will hold a certain percentage of obviously your fresh water, because obviously that's how you will get your hot water for your showers or on the kitchen tap. So currently, as you can see, this valve is actually open. How I know that is because the blue button down at the bottom there is popped out. So if that button is popped out, that means the valve is open. Not only that, that diamond valve is in the open position as well. So I'm going to try and do this for you now. To close this, what you need to do is twist the valve like so. And as you can see, the button is still out, so that means the valve is still open. To completely close the valve, if I push that button in now, it will stay in. Let me do that. So like so. So the button stayed in, so that means that valve is completely shut. So when I fill up my water, my boiler with water, the water is not going to drain straight out of the motorhome. If this valve is open and I'm trying to fill up, the water will just drain directly underneath the motorhome and not fill the boiler up. Underneath this false floor here, we have your fresh water tank. And the only reason you'll need to access this is to shut and open the valve if you want to obviously fill or drain your fresh water tank. So this valve here, this black knob, so this is what controls the valve to open and close. So if you twist it to the left until you feel a bit of tension, that means that the valve is completely closed, and now I can fill up with water externally and it's not going to drain directly out of the fresh water tank. If I want to travel with 20 litres, if I just twist this valve to the right a quarter turn, that will drain the water out of the fresh water tank to a roughly gauge of 20 litres for travelling. And then obviously if I want to drain the fresh water tank completely empty, if I twist it 2 full turns to the right, that will then open the valve completely and then obviously drain all the water out of the fresh water tank. Under this one here, we just have some underfloor storage. Next I'll show you the fridge freezer. So this is a three-way fridge freezer, and to turn this on, just press and hold here and it will light up like so. And as you can see, we've got a few settings. I'm just going to shut the blackout blind. There we go, we can see now. So as you can see, we've got a few settings here. So A is for automatically select. So the fridge will automatically select the best sauce it has available at the time. Here, what is flashing now is mains hookup. So if I'm plugged in at campsite, this is what I need to put it on, or if it's on A, it will automatically do that. The next one, the battery symbol, that one is when the engine's running. So obviously the fridge is running basically from your ledger battery, but the alternator is charging your ledger battery. And then the gas symbol at the back is the last one, sorry, is the gas is if you're off grid, then put it onto gas, or obviously let the fridge select it automatically for you. And then on the far right here, we've got your temperature. So to change this, just press and hold here, this square, and it will flash once. And now I need to go use these arrows to go through the settings of which one I want to select. So I'm going to press A, and then now it's asking me what temperature. So a lot of people put this high when they first in the first hour of using the fridge freezer, just getting it down to temperature, and then a lot of people do turn it halfway. Obviously that's all dependent on how much obviously you fill the fridge freezer up. As soon as you're happy with whatever you selected temperature wise, just press the square again and it will save the settings. So I'm on A, it's automatically gone to gas because I'm currently off grid, I'm not plugged in here, or the engine's off, and that is my temperature I'm trying to achieve. To turn this off completely, just press and hold the power button and it will then shut down like so. Let's turn some lights on so we can see. So here we have obviously your oven and grill. So again, to use this, obviously turn your gas on and then hold these knob in, hold it in and use the igniter. Your igniter, if that doesn't work, you might have popped a fuse because that is on the 12-volt system. Here we have a 3-ring gas burner. Same again, you got your knobs on your right hand side. Just press and hold in and that will then obviously bleed the gas through and ignite. Obviously you will have to turn on the LPG tanks externally once you are stationary. And then here we have your glass cover. One safety thing we do highlight is obviously once you've used the stove, on your glass cover just leave that up just to let everything cool down, as the temperature difference in the glass could potentially shatter. And then here we have your kitchen sink. So on your kitchen sink, this is what we're going to use to prime our motorhome system. So how we are going to prime our system with water to use, and what we're going to do is basically, first thing we're going to do in the motorhome is shut all the valves in the motorhome. So we need to shut our grey waste valve, we need to shut our boiler valve, which is the black valve with the button on. We need to shut our freshwater black knob valve underneath the floor. Once them valves are shut, we can now fill up the water system. So we're going to externally put the hose pipe in for the fresh water, fill it up. Once that's full, now we can prime our system. So what we need to do is turn our control panel on. As you can see, it's on. And then on the bottom left, we'll turn our pump on. I'm not going to do it because I've not got water in at the minute, but we'll turn our pump on. And basically, once you turn your pump on, that will start taking water from the freshwater tank. And if you open it on the cold side, the water will come through eventually at a steady flow. Once you are got steady flow of water on the cold side, twist this tap all the way to the hot. And what that's going to do is going to fill up your boiler first. Your boiler will probably hold around 10 litres of the water. So this might take a minute or so longer. It's going to fill your boiler up and then come through at a steady flow again on the hot side at your tap. Once you get steady flow on hot and cold, your water system is completely primed, ready to use when you need. The only thing you need to do is obviously turn on your Aldi control panel if you want hot water. Obviously this is not instant hot water, you do need to boil the water on the boiler. Here we have obviously your shower cubicle. You won't need to prime this because obviously once the one tap is primed, it will just, when you do get round to using this, it will just vent out any air in the tubes up until the shower. Here we have got your toilet. So to use your toilet, you've got your grey waste, your grey valve here. So this opens the toilet cassette and closes the cassette. So obviously you need to open this when in use, and then obviously once you've finished, shut the blade just to save any smells coming up. Here, the blue button is your freshwater flush. So that is going to use your fresh water from the freshwater tank to swill the bowl. When flushing, you do need to turn on your control panel, the 12-volt system, because that is obviously running the motor, the pump, to pump the water. And then at the top left here, you can see a toilet cassette symbol, and that symbol will light up orange/red when the toilet cassette is full, and that means you need to empty it. And then, as you can see, I've currently got the island bed sat up at the back. If I want to pull this out, you can just pull this underneath here, pull the frame, and that will extend. You can lift this up as well. You've got some storage underneath and a cupboard there as well. On this side, we have got TV aerial here. So that's on a stick. So you just need to loosen that push that all the way up, and then obviously at the back up here, it's hard to see, but you have got this is your control. So in the middle it will give you a green light when you've got strong signal, and I think it will go to about to like yellow amber. When it's on red, you've got weak signal. So there will be a switch up there as well to turn that on. Once obviously you are finished and you are going to set off, just make sure your aerial is down, as you don't want to make your motorhome a lot higher and then potentially hit something. And then on the right hand side, this motorhome has now been fitted with Wi-Fi, and we've fitted it in here. So as you can see, we've got Avtech Wi-Fi just up there, and here we have got a power switch for it, and then a fuse. So if the fuse blows for the Wi-Fi, this is where it will be. And if the Wi-Fi is not on, just check this switch in case you've knocked it. And then obviously if the master control panel is switched off on the habitation, then obviously there won't be any power to the Wi-Fi because the master control panel is off here. So this is feeding all the 12-volt system in the motorhome. One thing I forgot to highlight is up here in the middle, you can see off there with what looks like a plug. What that means is I'm not currently plugged in at campsite. So if I plugged in at campsite, this should say on or light up. If you do plug in and this still says off, that means obviously there's a fault, something's tripped. Like I said, it could be the main breaker under this seat here, or it could be the campsite post. And then last thing, we've got AC on this motorhome. Just so you know, this will only work on your mains hookup, it won't work on your Leisure battery. The reason for this is just it's that powerful. It does need it consumes a lot of electricity. So when you're at campsite, obviously you can get this switched on. So that is the instructional / overview video complete of the Adria Matrix 670 Supreme. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call.